What happened while we were away, brought to you by the FBI, is on one. Congressman and Donald Trump ally Scott Perry of Pennsylvania says he was traveling with his family yesterday when 3 FBI agents approached him with a warrant and took his phone. It's clear the Department of Justice and the FBI are currently on an unusual power trip, seizing a random congressman's phone while his family watches the day after raiding Trump's Florida residence. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was asked his thoughts about the raid of Trump's Mar-a-Lago.
I'm here today to talk about the flood and the recovery from the flood.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about the DOJ's role and if they acted in accordance with the law.
That's up for the Department of Justice to decide.
Moving on, consumer prices rose another 8.5% in July. Joe Biden, your thoughts? For those of you listening, what we're watching is Joe Biden repeatedly struggling to put on his blazer jacket. Nancy Pelosi has multiple thoughts about China.
We still support the one China policy. We go there to acknowledge the status quo is what our policy is. There was nothing disruptive about that. It was only about saying China is one of the freest societies in the world. When I was a little girl, I was told at the beach if I dug a hole deep enough, we would reach China. So we've always felt a connection there.
And now this. Data from Thailand studying the effects of the COVID jab on teenagers shows some disturbing trends. Of 301 13 to 18-year-olds who had taken the second dose of the Pfizer jab, 18% had an abnormal electrocardiogram test post-jab. 3.5% of the 202 males studied developed myoperi or pericarditis or subclinical myocarditis. 2 were hospitalized with 1 in the ICU. No females studied developed clinical myopericarditis. In completely unrelated news, a med school student at Ohio State University suffered a, quote, fatal medical event while participating in a 102-mile bike ride over the weekend. In further completely unrelated news, the Wake Forest football program announced starting quarterback Sam Hartman, one of the best players in all of college football, sought medical attention following a workout yesterday for, quote, non-football related conditions and will be held out of team-related activities indefinitely. In further completely unrelated news, the country of Denmark announced recently it'll no longer be offering the COVID jabs for people under the age of 18. The country had begun phasing out the jabs for kids back in May. Aaron's Razor update, it's just demonic, bro. 2 homosexual activists who were quote-unquote married to each other and had adopted 2 young boys have been arrested on suspicion of sex crimes against those 2 boys, including the production of child pornography. The 2 men had previously taken a picture of the 2 boys outside the Human Rights Campaign headquarters and posted it on their Instagram accounts. Yet another iconic moment in the Rainbow Jihad's history. A mother and her teenage daughter in Nebraska are being prosecuted after the mother helped the daughter murder her 23-week-old unborn baby at home. The duo then burned and buried the body and then talked about it over Facebook Messenger. Police obtained the Facebook chat after a search warrant was obtained. This all went down prior to the overturning of Roe. And what you see now is how this is being framed in the media. Headline at Forbes, Facebook gave Nebraska cops a teen's DMs so they could prosecute her for having an abortion. And finally, this.
I'm delighted to be joined by a member of the Chinese community as I apologize for using the phrase Chinese whispers. I appreciate that this is deeply offensive to the Chinese. I completely understand why they went totally mental. I'm delighted to be joined by a mental health campaigner to witness my apology for using the phrase, they've gone mental. I can see some of you are surprised that I'm apologising, but no. Gone are the days when getting an apology out of me was like getting a fiver out of an Aberdonian, eh? I would like to apologise to the largest Aberdonian community, the Aberdonians. I do understand that Aberdonian feelings are important. I'm surprised, actually, that our diversity officer didn't make that clear to me. Honestly, sometimes around here it's like the blind leading the blind. I would like to apologise to Scotland's blind community.
And that's what happened while we were away.